starting with the football, I got to establish credibility off the bat. Now that you guys really know I'm a football guy, we can begin. Seahawks rebuild. I don't know. I start these so dumb sometimes. But Seahawks rebuild. This team is definitely in a rebuilding stage. And they're fully aware of that. They trade away their potential greatest player in franchise history. I think it's close, right? But I think you probably give it to Russell Wilson. Like, the old head would say, oh, you know what? It's Steve Largent, best receiver I've ever seen. DK Metcalf would toast him, by the way. But no, I mean, Russell Wilson, Super Bowl winning champion, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. I think he probably is their best player all time. Never won an MVP or anything. But in the first half of the year, I mean, he's MVP every year. So, big player to lose out on. You are getting some good talent in return. Like, Noah Fant is a good tight end. You're getting Shelby Harris, which will be a good locker room guy. Probably not going to do too much for me here in this rebuild. And the big thing, you get multiple draft picks back. So we're going to try and turn those draft picks into big-time players. And let's go over this roster and start to make some changes. And week one just would be Seahawks-Broncos, right? The league, so good at making their schedules. Already a storyline. But let's talk about this team, because it is an interesting one. And I'll tell you one rating I disagree with off the bat is Rashad Penny. You can say a lot of things about Rashad Penny, but at this point, he's not like a bad player. He just can't stay healthy. So while I think that his injury rating should be low, I mean, check out the back half of last season. There wasn't a better running back in the league. That's not saying Rashad Penny's the best running back in the league, but for that stretch, he was incredibly productive. And he's just a 78. Feels kind of bad. I mean, it's the top 16% of halfbacks, but that's not that good. Like, if you're ranking running backs, is Rashad Penny really number 38? I don't think he's like a superstar by any means, but 38 seems a little low. They did draft Kenneth Walker. Got to remember, this is a running back by committee team. Always has had an emphasis on running the ball, and that will be no different this year, especially with no Russell Wilson. Love Ken Walker. He was awesome at Michigan State. For me, he was the best running back in the draft. Very close with Breece Hall, but I really loved Walker as a player. And I think that he could be a real difference maker for the Seattle team going forward, as you expect their passing game to struggle with Geno Smith. Lockett has been one of the most underrated receivers in the league for a while now. He's not really a true number one, though, which he doesn't need to be. They have DK Metcalf, who is incredible. I feel like everybody trash talks DK Metcalf. Oh, man. 3-cone time where he slipped like twice. Irrelevant time. Doesn't matter. And they talk about his change of direction skills, his agility, his route running. Here's the thing. DK Metcalf has a trump card, right? And it's, I am bigger, faster, stronger than you, and I can run by you. And if you choose to go ahead and say, all right, I'm not going to let you run by me at any cost, in any way, well, guess what? You leave the underneath open. And DK Metcalf can be very effective underneath at times because he has electric speed and his explosiveness is crazy. Like, I mean, 94 acceleration, I think pretty good rating. He has the ability to just turn it on like that and take things to the house. And that also leaves other receivers underneath open because of the fear that DK Metcalf causes opposing secondaries. He really does, because at any moment, he can just take you deep. On the offensive line, they're finally getting a little bit better. Brought in Gabe Jackson. Abe Lucas could be a decent little player for us. Noah Fant, obviously, tight end. But Austin Blythe is a solid enough starting center. Damian Lewis is a good young player, and of course took Charles Cross, probably the best pass-protecting offensive tackle in the class. Obviously, in the air raid system at Mississippi State under Mike Leach, they throw the ball all the time. So he's pass blocked more than any other offensive lineman in the entire class. I will guarantee you that. Also, my guy, Dwayne Eskridge. They call him D in this. No, they don't. They call him Dwayne Eskridge. I really like the player, and I'm hoping that he has a really good season here in Seattle with some real opportunities. Jordan Brooks, Uchenna Nwosu got brought in. Darrell Taylor is more of a pass rusher. Doesn't really fit as this is set up to be a 4-3. Shelby Harris, more of an interior player, in my opinion. So we might want to change some things around. Poona Ford, more of an interior player. So is Al Wood. So is Quentin Jefferson. I mean, they have all defensive tackles across the front here, but it's also set up to be a 4-3. Even though Nwosu, I would call him like a hybrid player, but more of a pass rusher, in my opinion. So I don't think this is going to work well in simulation at all. But a lot of replaceable players in there anyway. I'm not really too worried about it. Jamal Adams, another overhated player, kind of like DK, where he's really, really good. He's just not some guy that can cover over the top like a free safety. That's not his game. Every other area of the game, he's an elite player. Just not what you think of when you think safety. If you think of like Earl Thomas, Jamal Adams is not that. He's closer to what Cam Chancellor brought to the table. And Adams doesn't really have that hit power, that fear, but he's a better athlete, and he has a really good head for the game and just knows where to be and makes a ton of plays. Quandre Diggs, hook 'em horns. Same thing with Poona Ford too, but Quandre Diggs, great player, underrated. I kind of like this Seahawks team, but they do have a lot of holes. But I do like some of the players. Sidney Jones in here, Artie Burns, not great. Justin Coleman, Trey Brown. Trey Brown, by the way, this is someone to look out for. He was pretty good last year as a rookie without huge expectations. I would watch out for Trey Brown being a solid starter. I think he exceeded mine and a lot of other people's expectations as well. And then, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Tariq Woolen, one of the craziest corners you'll ever see. 6'4", 210, one of the fastest players. It's amazing he doesn't have like 99 jumping and close to 99 speed. Played wide receiver at UTSA before moving to corner. Yeah, change of direction, kind of a problem for him, but everything else, man, he is a freak athlete. You'll notice I didn't talk much about the quarterbacks, Geno Smith or Drew Lock. Geno is going to be the starter purely because they will not be here. Oh, Michael Dixon, hook 'em horns as well. You know, an interesting thing as I scroll through this roster with the salaries, a lot of their top players are fairly young. Like, yeah, Lockett and Diggs are 29, not really going to work well in Madden. But they're all on long-term contracts. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel for Seattle. Obviously, you just have to hit on your picks. You know, there's honestly not really anybody to trade in here. So I might just simulate to the end of the first season. Just go straight to the offseason. A rarity, but feels like it's the play here. Nobody to re-sign. Really at all. I mean, like Sidney Jones, but I can deal with that in the offseason. And if he doesn't sign back, whatever. I do like Sidney Jones. He was a beast at UW for the Huskies, but if he doesn't resign, it's kind of whatever. And we'll have money. We're not going to make the playoffs more than likely. You know, maybe I'll stop it at week 17. Okay, well, that's actually worse than I ever could have imagined. This team is 0-15. What is happening? I wonder if we're going to go winless. Can we beat the 4-11 Jets? No. All right, I got the spoiler alert. Beat the Rams for a significant boost to your roster. It's time for Chiefs playbook. All right, see if we can beat the Rams. The roster bonus would be huge here. And also, oh, okay. I was also like not going winless, but nope, we went winless. 0-17. First time that's happened in one of these rebuilds. And you guys saw me scrolling through the schedule. I didn't force any losses. The schedule just had us losing every game, clearly. I will mention this is post-update, so the passing numbers for teams have kind of been reeled in a little bit. Like, obviously, insane numbers still, but not quite as crazy as what we were getting earlier. These are way more realistic, but keep in mind that, you know, teams are throwing the ball more than ever. So in a 17-game schedule, seeing, you know, 650 pass attempts and getting over 5,700 yards is wild, but feasible at least. Geno actually, like, the numbers aren't terrible. The completion percentage at 59% isn't great. No running game. Kenneth Walker barely got involved, so one of these guys is getting traded, and it probably won't be Kenneth Walker. Receiving, Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf and actually Dwayne Eskridge as well, slightly over 900 receiving yards. Not really a lot of touchdowns for anybody. And then defensively, a ton of tackles for Jordan Brooks and Cody Barton, who we didn't really even talk about at all. Tackles for loss, my guy Poona Ford and Al Woods, 13-14. And Darrell Taylor has 5. Also 2 interceptions, but the scheme was completely wrong for where these guys should be, at least in Madden. So we're going to have to go ahead and change those things and hopefully have a way, way better Season 2. Cowboys beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, which is a result we often see. Joe Burrow MVP, Dak got Super Bowl MVP. Your rookies of the year, Jahan Dotson and Aiden Hutchinson. And then your offensive player and defensive player of the year, Christian McCaffrey and Aaron Donald. Going to use auto-generated rookies. When I do the realistic rebuilds and I really focus on realistic moves, we use a real 2023 NFL draft class, which I've made. Of course, I did know the ratings and the kind of my opinions of the players, but I don't have it all memorized. Don't have dev trace memorized, of course. But a lot of quarterbacks in this class near the top. All round 1 to 2 talents, which really isn't actually bad for QB, because those overalls are usually a lot lower anyway. But yeah, not really seeing anyone especially good. But depending on how athletic some of these guys are, they might end up being the move. But honestly, like, these quarterbacks aren't really blowing me away. So I'm definitely thinking about trading down or taking other positions. Have to check out the rest of the class. We'll have a better idea of what we want to do. But there's so many needs on this team that we could go a number of different directions. So I really don't want to bring a lot of these guys back. Justin Coleman's too old and too low an overall. Poona Ford, kind of the same deal, and he doesn't really want to come back anyway. Sidney Jones, I would definitely consider a 3-year deal. It's not very expensive, to be honest. I think he will be at least a decent second or third corner. So Sidney Jones does end up re-signing. Rashad Penny, could have traded him. Didn't end up going that way. And I would be interested in maybe like a 1-year deal at a higher rate, and I would probably look to trade him. So $6.5 million overall. I really don't think that's too bad. He's going to test out free agency. I'm really not mad about that. I could franchise tag him, but the trade value we get back, it just isn't worth it to do any type of tag and trade. Tom Brady available in free agency. Deron Payne seems like he would have interest in signing. You know, I would have interest in Deron Payne as well. We could probably use Rob Havenstein as well. He's a little bit more expensive than I would like, but he has pretty good interest. I would go high risk, 2-year deal. Total offer strength isn't especially high. Would I want to match what the Bears are doing? You know, I guess I could. Let's go neutral instead. Still a 2-year deal at a slightly higher rate, and that puts us into the lead. I would do that. Probably going to stay away from Yannick Ngakoue. What do we really need? A third receiver, I wouldn't really prioritize too much. Left tackle, no. Left guard, no. Center. We could upgrade. We could go Eric McCoy. I mean, maybe even play him at guard too. Move somebody over. Yeah, and he really wants to join. Yeah, let's do that. You know, Jayon Brown wouldn't be the worst stopgap either. I really wouldn't want to pay him too much. But something like this, I think, could be okay. I wonder what his market is going to look like. It seems like we'd be out in front. We also need to replace Justin Coleman, so I think Mike Hughes would be okay. Former first-round pick, not that that really matters. But not really getting any offers, so don't really need safety. Kicker and punter should be fine. Although, actually, no, I do need a kicker. Although, we'll see if we can sign anybody. All right, everybody's gone. And did we get everybody I offer? We got 4. So, Deron Payne, big upgrade to our D-line. Eric McCoy, big upgrade to our O-line. Mike Hughes, Jayon Brown. Who did I offer on that we didn't get? Rob Havenstein, that's right. Josh Allen was also here. Would have been a big upgrade as a pass rusher, but didn't even target him. Elton Jenkins is still here, as is Jack Conklin. I know I signed Elton Jenkins like every single rebuild I do. So maybe we'll stay away, but also we could get Mississippi State offensive linemen at both tackle spots. I kind of want to do that. And it's also a position I just don't have to worry about. I know I do it in like every video, but like, how can you blame me? And I mean, he has interest with that money. Let's see what we can do. Still fighting in it. He's decided not to sign yet. Actually, no one has. Still going after Matt Gay. Still in the lead on both of these guys. Still have signed none of them. We didn't get Elton Jenkins, as I'm sure some of you are going to be excited to see. He also goes to the Bears? I mean, I guess I get it, but surely one of them is going to play left tackle, but I don't know if the CPU changes positions. I don't know if they're that smart. We did get Gay kicker, Matt Gay to be our kicker. There's some really interesting pass rushers in this class. Julian McClain and Trevor Middleton both stand out to me. Middleton's interesting because he has A to C block shed, A to C pursuit, B to D tackle. I don't really care about. Good athlete, but he has A finesse moves, but also A to C power moves. So we know he's going to be elite as a speed rusher already, but could also be good as a power rusher. And then Julian McClain, kind of the same deal, but he's a speed rusher with B power moves. So we know finesse moves is in all likelihood probably an A. And then Giants legend Daniel Jones has A pursuit, A power moves, A hit power. Something there, not the best athlete, probably will avoid him, and Giants should have. And we really could stand to get some elite pass rushers on this team. That's been a need for the Seahawks for a while now. I didn't talk about Boye Mafe. People are probably frustrated I didn't talk about Boye Mafe. I just kind of forgot to, is my reason there. I think the player has a ton of potential. Twitched up is the best way to describe him. Just very raw as a pass rusher. So the potential's there, but I don't know that I can count on him in this rebuild. Okay, this center looks insane. First in like every combine drill, plus really good skills as well. And he's Texas Longhorn, hook 'em horns. As you guys are watching this, now it's probably going out on Friday actually. I'm going to Texas, Alabama tomorrow. Obviously, I'm a big Texas fan. I don't expect to win. Most of you watching this now probably already know the result if you're a college football fan or watch college football. Man, I'm hoping Texas just doesn't get crushed because the defense from Bama is so good. And Texas, of course, with a first-year quarterback, he's made one college start against ULM, Louisiana Monroe. Could be a real challenge. You got Dallas Turner, Will Anderson, obviously. It's also a really good tight end prospect. Okay, we might have some decisions to make, but yeah, it could be ugly. Could be ugly. I'm actually, even with Noah Fant, I'm considering drafting a tight end down the board a little bit. I mean, some of these players look really good. Okay, this Jamie Gonzalez has potential. Big time speed, A deep route running, A spectacular catch. I'm at least intrigued by Jamie. I'm intrigued. I mean, it's an interesting combo to be, amazing deep route running, amazing spectacular catch, but like wasn't elite anywhere else. I'm at the very least intrigued. Glad we have this guy at 100. He's only F everything, cool. But yeah, I think I'm gonna avoid quarterback. I don't know, man. Like, there's some decent players for sure, but I'm not gonna force myself to draft decent when we could potentially get, a real franchise difference maker next year. Looking at 3 left outside linebackers, 2 of which are pass rushers. The other one is a pass coverage guy that I could obviously just move over to middle linebacker if I wanted to, depending on what scheme we're going to run out. I haven't even decided yet because we still do have Uchenna Nwosu. We still do have, Darrell Taylor. We have the number 1 overall pick as well. I'm probably going to trade down, not 100%, but probably. Also, we have the 11th pick as well, courtesy of the Broncos, who I guess didn't do well. But I'm telling you, man, a 6'3", 256-pound edge rusher who ran 4.47 at his pro day, elite speed with A finesse moves, B power moves. He is worth taking very, very high, even at 23 years old. Trevor Middleton looks worse. Very good athlete, though. A finesse moves, C to D power. Did I not? No, I did. I did look at him. I thought power moves was like A to C. Now it's C to D? How did that change? Oh, I meant to look at Zach Means. Oh, no, I did, but yeah, he's also not an athlete. And then Jerry Hunter, not much of a block shedder, B pursuit, B tackle. It says he has elite speed, but for an outside linebacker, he's not actually like all that fast. I think we know who we're taking. I think it's cut and dry. Julian McLean looks about 40 years old, but you know what? I like the experience. Gray hair doesn't mean he can't play football. All right, so he's projected right now at number 6. I would like for the Texans to want to acquire the number 1 overall pick. The Bills also have a very high pick. Definitely can't move down to 9 and still get him. I'm going to try and manually work something out with the Texans, see what we can do, because they're probably going to be really bad next year as well. If I can somehow get their first-round pick either this year and next year, I'd be super happy about that. They have 2 as well for the Browns, so let's see what we can do here. Would I want to do this? I would get the Texans' first-round pick this year and next year. I would have to trade number 11 in order to get it done as well. So we'd be moving down 1 spot and then potentially moving up into the top 5 of next year's class, but it's a bit of a gamble. Would I rather just try that with like second-round picks? Probably not going to be nearly as effective. I don't think it's going to be accepted. It's not. Although if I can add Uchenna Nwosu in there and make something work, I would love to do that, as I'm probably going to replace him. Doesn't seem like it's going to be doable, though. I'm going to try moving him to the left end, see if that boosts their opinion of him. I mean, I don't even necessarily have to trade Nwosu anyway. Pretty young, pretty good, but I just feel like he might have slightly more value to me as a trade piece. Not necessarily, though. They actually have less interest in him as a left end. All right. This is not going to be accepted. Dude, take Will Dissly. I really don't need him, especially if I plan on drafting a tight end, which I don't have to. We have Noah Fant. We do. I get it. But the tight ends look very good in this class. So Will Dissly's going to be on the move here. I'd love to only make this a future third. I think it's going to have to be a current third, maybe even a second to get this to go through. Yeah, it might have to be a second. All right, it's going to be a future second, though, which feels a little bit better. So it's the number 1 pick, Will Dissly, and a second-round pick for the number 3 pick and a first-round pick next year from the Bills, which is projected to be really low in the draft, but also, like, the Bills are here picking at number 3. So I don't really know what to do with that information. Daniel Jones goes at number 1. Would have actually liked for that to happen in real life. It means he wouldn't have been available for the Giants at 6. And I'm going to take Julian McClain. He looks like the best player in the draft, to be honest. Great block shedding, pursuit, tackling for an outside linebacker. Great acceleration, change of direction, jumping, elite speed, A, finesse moves, B, power moves. The player should be unbelievable. Hidden dev, gray hair. He has like Batman villain vibes, to be honest, for some reason. I think it's how slicked back it is. It looks like if the Joker wasn't using like green hair dye. Anyway, Joker's kind of a sick nickname. Welcome, Julian Joker McClain. 86 speed off the edge, 88 acceleration. We'll get a better idea of how good he is post-draft, but he should be very good. And Trevor Middleton, who I scouted, he looks like he might be worth drafting. And then, I mean, I didn't get rid of Uchenna Nwosu, so it might be a little bit of a waste. But at number 11, I'm just trying to figure out what would I do here. This linebacker, Ben Johnson, looks pretty good to me. Missing some information on him for sure, but looks pretty good. And there goes Zay Mitchell. That was the number 1 receiver on the board. Although I don't know if he was actually the number 1 receiver on my board, because that other receiver we looked at in Jamie Gonzalez, like, I would consider drafting. I mean, it seems crazy to draft a tight end, right? Just because we really don't need one. That's the thing. We really don't need one. I got to remember that. But I do like drafting really good players, and they look really good. Maybe Brandon Marciano down the board. Our next Rocky Marciano. Yeah, he looks awesome. I would probably rather draft this one than the top guy just because of the draft position. I would also consider drafting this tackle, although I'd probably prefer the center. Also, Enrique Bradley looks pretty good if I need to move down the board and take a good tackling outside backer. He would be playing off ball, so he wouldn't be a pass rusher whatsoever. Jimmy Brown is also somebody that's interesting. Is man-to-man with B to D zone coverage, which I'd be hoping for a C. Really good athlete. I mean, elite speed, elite jumping, really amazing athlete with just average cover skills. I might target him, actually. But we don't need to draft at this position in order to do this. So what we're going to do is trade down maybe to the mid, early 20s, something like that. Raiders offering me a second next year just to move down. Actually, the Bucks are usually good in sim, though. Raiders offering me a second next year to move down. So I'm not even moving down that much, and I'm getting a ton of value back. And I think I can probably trade down again and still get really good value back. Okay, we're actually making a really interesting trade here. I'm betting on the future. I'm moving down from 16 to 29, and then I'm trading the Bills pick for the Texans pick next year, which to me is a massive upgrade. If the Bills are bad again, that would be wild to me. I'm also trading number 65 in order to get it done. But the idea there is that the Bills will be good and the Texans will be really bad. So this is a play for next year. And then who's ever here at 29, I'm going to get good value for. And a lot of players I'm looking at are here. Cliff Sims, Jesse Allen, Enrique Bradley. I'm going to take the corner, though. I'm going to take the corner. We know he's not an amazing cover guy, but he's 6'2". He's a fantastic athlete. He's got the things you can't teach, so we're going to take him. Does have hidden dev. 95 speed. I mean, low to mid 90s for everything in there, except for strength. So, again, really happy with the athlete. There goes a quarterback from Montana. Don't care. There goes a right tackle. I'm interested to see how good he's going to be. And the Cowboys take another corner. So the corner that we took maybe wouldn't have been available. And I could still take the tight end if I wanted to. I think I'm going to take Enrique Bradley. Looks pretty good. I'm not concerned about pursuit, but I don't know that it's an A. But A tackling, B zone coverage, B block shedding, B hit power. I just think he's going to be pretty good. We're going to need an off-ball linebacker. Back-to-back Clemson players, also hidden dev. 85 speed, 88 excel is pretty good. I think that's not a bad one. Don't pick again until the 4th round after this 2nd rounder, so I really have to make it count. Tight end is off the board. This safety is interesting too, if I wanted a potential corner. I mean, B, man coverage, C, zone coverage. I could use a replacement for Quandre Diggs, who's just getting a little bit older. Brandon Flynn still available. He was somebody I liked, right? Only D pursuit, actually. He was just a really good athlete. Now, the A awareness makes me think that he's actually good. The Raiders are giving me a 4th round pick to move down to number 48. So, again, I'm going to take it. The value is just too good there. I'm getting a 4th. It's not, like, huge, but I can use that to trade up if I want to. With this pick, I'm going to be taking the center, Mike Hamels, just purely on the basis that he looks really good. I'm going to find a spot to play him. Hook 'em horns, 21 years old, amazing athlete. I think he's going to be awesome. 91 strength, 86 acceleration, 74 speed at 6'4", 314. Only 21 years old. This might be the pick of the draft so far. And at this point, it's pretty much figuring out which player do I have to have. That's the thing. Because I have enough picks to trade back up for one of them probably. Which one do I have to have? I think it's Jerry Hunter. Well, we'll see if he gets taken. I'm probably not going to trade back into the 2nd. There goes Brandon Flynn to the Lions. Hope he doesn't end up being one of the top-rated players in this class. There goes the tight end, Brandon Marciano, who looked really good. Also interested to see his overall. And there goes Jerry Hunter. So, everyone I just wanted went off the board a little bit before I expected. And the only one remaining is this center, who, to be fair to him, looks good. And I wouldn't have had the chance to take him otherwise. So, you know what? Maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Gonna be 2 4s and a 5 that moved me up to 67. Actually cost more than I expected. So, we, maybe wouldn't have even been able to move up for those other guys anyway. And I'm gonna take the center, Zach Houston, out of Arizona State. A awareness, A pass block, B run block, and also like pretty strong. Elite agility. I think we have a good one here as well. Only normal dev, but also only 21 years old. More of a true center at 6'2", 296. Wish he was a little bit faster, but the acceleration's pretty great. But, yeah, could eventually be a starting center for us. Eric McCoy slide over. We do have Damian Lewis. So he's just a good backup for right now, but things could change. Okay, draft recap is really interesting. A bunch of different players I want to look at. Zach Houston is a 75 overall, by the way, which wasn't something I was expecting, but I also don't think he's going to start. Hamels is only a 73, but he does have star or better development, and to me just looks a little bit better despite being the worst overall. He probably starts at right guard for me. Enrique Bradley is a 73. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good, to be honest. Jimmy Brown's a 74. I think that's pretty good, actually. That is the top 26% of all corners. Coverage isn't great right now, which we knew. We knew that. But again, you can't teach that athleticism. So if you can just upgrade him, we'll end up being great. And then Julian McLean's actually a little bit worse than I expected. He's only a 76, but with 86 speed, 81 finesse moves. Power moves isn't great, but it's kind of irrelevant. Block shedding's a 74. Pursuit tackle seems pretty good. Has a bunch of different traits as well. I think that's a pretty good pick. He was actually just the best player in the draft, by the way. Tied. It was not a good class. Jamie Gonzalez also was the 2nd highest rated player. Only normal dev, so I guess we missed out there. He does have 99 speed, though. Okay. Didn't he run like 4... No, maybe he did run in the 4.2s. That's right. Okay, 99 speed, pretty good. Ed Britt, the center, was right up there. And a tight end I didn't even think about is a 75. Cliff Sims was a 75. Marciano was a 74. Brandon Flynn was a 72. Yeah, I'm not really mad about how this played out. I think we made the best of a whatever class. Cliff Sims has superstar X Factor, though. So, bit of a miss. Although, we have Noah Fant. Marciano only has star. It's also worth noting, I don't have a quarterback. I can see that being a problem, to be honest. And Mike Hamels moves up to a 75 overall at right guard. However, could I just get a little bit creative? He's got the size. Do I just move him, kick him out to right tackle? It's only a 73 there, but that's what Charles Cross was. Eric McCoy slides over to right guard. Got the size for it. Maybe a little light at 303, but I can trade Gabe Jackson and then start the rookie. I think that gives us our best group. So Jackson will be traded. I need a quarterback. I could use a backup running back as well. And then defensively, I got to move everything around. We also drafted a hidden dev defensive tackle, by the way. Maybe worth keeping an eye on. Signed a couple of inside linebackers as well for depth. And yep, I'm going after Tyrod Taylor. Hero in my Giants franchise. If you guys watch my actual franchise series on the channel this year, you'll know there might not be a better quarterback ever. I don't want to be too crazy, but he might be the best quarterback in NFL history. Also, Quandre Diggs has superstar dev, by the way. Didn't notice that, but he has it. And yeah, again, Gabe Jackson going to be traded. And I don't even know if we can get anything back for him. Gabe Jackson in a 5th gets me a 3rd round pick from Minnesota. It's decent value back for Gabe Jackson. Wasn't really in my long-term plan. So better to move on, get as much value as I can. And the team, we shouldn't be great this year. But I think we should be a surprising team. There is talent here. We're going to get the most out of it. And I'm especially excited for the defense going forward. We have talent. We really do. I'm interested to see what the rookie can do. But so many scheme fits on defense. A lot of talent. Again, I'm just excited. Oh, we're 2-5. Already better than where we were a season ago. And we're up to an 81 overall. So I would say I'm pretty excited about it. We're not great, right? But we are, I think, performing better than expected. Maybe better than last year. Maybe not better than expected, but yeah, strengths of this class, corner and quarterback, both positions we could take. Don't need center, don't really need right end or tight end. So I'm going to keep things as they are. Jordan Brooks will be a free agent. Thankfully, we can pay him as a middle linebacker, not an outside linebacker like I've had to in the past. So he'll be cheaper. I mean, a lot of guys who are on the borderline contracts are expiring. I would say I want everybody on the left side of Shelby Harris. I mean, we got to be able to do better than that. Jordan Brooks is back. That's the big one. Massive contract. And Noah Fant, I would like back as well. Doesn't really have a ton of interest. We're going to have to pay if we want to get him. And he is not cheap. Maybe we should have really drafted a tight end. He wants even more money. Man, maybe we should have drafted that superstar X Factor tight end. I probably would have drafted the other one too because we wouldn't have had to spend a high pick. But the thing is, they both got drafted fairly close together. One was top of the second round. One was middle to end-ish of the second round. Uchenna Nwosu I'd like back as well. 3-year deal. I mean, this is too much money. It's too much money. Also going to sign Melvin Gordon as well. Be good to have a better backup running back, even just for this season. Here's the thing. Would I rather pay $18 million a year to a truly very good pass rusher, or half that to Uchenna Nwosu, who's a 77 overall? It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. What's best case scenario for him? He gets up to what? An 82 by the time he starts to regress? Better to make a move now than later. Trading Uchenna Nwosu, Shelby Harris, and a 3rd for a first-round pick from Chicago. Right now, it's projected to be number 19, but it's only midway through the season. And I really, really expect the Bears to not be good So hopefully that pick gets even higher. And we lost to the Giants, which means we should probably just give up. Call it a day, end the rebuild. But Noah Fant, I'm going to have to give him a huge contract if he's going to accept. And I don't want to give that much money to a tight end. I just don't. Yeah, Noah Fant. I can't trade him right now. What I'll probably end up doing is at least franchise tagging him. It's a tight end tag. It's not that expensive. Could just compete for him in free agency as well. But that is going to do it here. Actually, you know what? I'm here already. I'll simulate to week 11, and I'll use my scouting focus. All right, here we go. Quarterback, top 5 talent, David Jones out of Arizona. Not Daniel Jones. This one's David. He might actually be good. Also, yeah, man. I mean, Daniel Jones catching so many strays in this one. I feel bad about it. Oh, a tight end? Anthony Sullivan? Oh, from the infomercials? You guys know the infomercials with Anthony Sullivan? Anthony Sullivan, yeah. What is the product that he sells? He's an OxyClean guy. Anyway, he looks pretty sick. And I'm building a pretty much like a Clemson theme team already. Finished 5-12, much better than last season, obviously, which is what I keep pointing back to. Because it's true. We got to, point to some positives other than the worst offense in the league. But our defense was about middle of the pack. Tyrod was, fine. Melvin Gordon ended up getting the bulk of the carries. How did that happen? There's no way he's rated higher than Kenneth Walker. Okay. Not great offensive numbers. I mean, of course, we're in Kansas City playbook, so the tight end Noah Fant got quite involved. Julian McClain, 20 tackles for loss, 10.5 sacks as a rookie. I will take it. Yeah, nothing was really all that good there, but this was a building year, all right? I don't think anyone expected us to compete. Just not ready yet, but we're getting there. Year 3, I think, is going to be really different. Cowboys back in the Super Bowl, beat the Patriots. Battle of America's teams. Ugh. Julian McClain wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Leighton Vander Esch wins Super Bowl MVP, by the way. Yeah, best cover linebacker in the league, if you've seen Giants franchise. Panthers had a rookie quarterback win Rookie of the Year. Well, clearly, but Panthers had a rookie quarterback. I don't really remember him getting drafted. And Joe Burrow, MVP, back-to-back seasons. Maybe Cincinnati playbook is worth checking out. All right, let me see my dev traits, by the way, for the rookie. Surely going to be star for the now right guard. I'd bet almost anything. Or he actually plays right tackle for me now, that's right. And then defense, I think we could see something. That corner, because he's such a sick athlete, I could see being superstar. Let's see here. Ooh. So Brown is just star. Bradley's just star. McClain might have gone up to superstar. He might have been star too. But of course he won Rookie of the Year. Did get superstar dev because of it. So unfortunately he was not drafted as a superstar. But we have one now. He is an 80 overall or 79. No, he's an 80. And is only 24 years old. That's pretty good. In the draft, looking at quarterback, which we will address. We're looking still at corner, probably. Bush has star dev too, by the way, at defensive tackle. Don't really want to start him, but we're looking for an edge rusher. Probably a linebacker, Jayon Brown, which is a stopgap. Darrell Taylor's already 27. I mean, I signed some of these guys that I don't expect to be here. Noah Fant, I would like to bring back, but even that last contract was not an offer that I'm comfortable with making, and I still made it. $15.7 million. I'm going to do it for 1 year, purely because we have the money. This now allows us to potentially trade him or look for a successor in the draft. Even though it's a lot of money, it's better than not having him. It's a very different situation to what it was with Uchenna Nwosu. Jonathan Taylor's here. Nick Bosa's here. Joe Burrow's here after winning back-to-back MVPs. He has no interest, but getting Nick Bosa, that could be okay. Danielle Hunter in here as well. J.K. Dobbins. Miles Jack. That's a decent replacement. We're number 1 right now for both Miles Jack and Nick Bosa. Didn't really offer a ton on them. I mean, Miles Jack, obviously, or Nick Bosa, the contract's just going to be huge. He's a really, really good player. So he's going to be expensive. Man, D-tackle is rough. I'll offer Devon Hamilton as well. I think those are the guys I want, though. Really not going after too many, but just some good players that are really going to help us out. I like my offensive line. Don't really want to change anything. I just need these 2 guys. I need Nick Bosa, Miles Jack. I ace Devon Hamilton too. And I've actually increased the offer on Bosa because he's paramount. Have to get Nick Bosa. He is a franchise game changer. And we got all three. So Jack's going to start at outside linebacker. Nick Bosa, edge rusher. That's a really good Uchenna Nwosu replacement. And then Devon Hamilton as well, just to start at defensive tackle, which we needed an upgrade there. He's not amazing, but he's good enough. And we'll focus on the rest of our needs in the draft. We're running out of money a little bit, but we're going to free some up. We're not paying Noah Fant 16, 17 million per year. So probably have to focus on drafting a tight end. Probably have to. I am confused. That's why. Ralph Butler, round 1 talent. I go, what's going on here? I thought he was top 5, but that was David Jones. Just he wasn't the top-rated quarterback like I expected him to be. Decent enough athlete, great throw power. Yeah, this should be the guy we take. Dude, we got to take Anthony Sullivan, dude. He could sell anything to anybody, and as a tight end running routes, we're going to need him to sell one thing to anyone covering him. Boom, double move, sluggo, up the field, touchdown. He looks awesome. This dude's name is like literally Wanker, or Wanker, excuse me. You got to put a little bit of sauce on it. Trade offers for Jordan Brooks? No. I don't care what you're offering. No. I mean, I am kind of curious, though. Like, what would you offer for a player that's a really good age? That's very good. No trades for Jordan? No one wants to trade for Jordan Brooks? Could you just go out and trade DK Metcalf if you wanted to? You could. Now, the offers here are not good. Unless Jalen Wagner's like some beast. I'm obviously not trading DK, though. I have no need to do that. He's got the day 1 starter tag with Star Dev. I mean, 22 years old. Not a bad player. If I was actually doing like a trade DK Metcalf video, you know what? I would probably consider that. But just not something I'm interested in. And then Brandon Flynn got offered in a trade. Normal Dev? No thanks. NFL draft time. We pick at number 3 overall, which should be in good position. That should be able to land us our quarterback. And then I might take the tight end super high after that. David Jones at 3, I'm thinking, and then Anthony Sullivan at number 6 or whatever it is. Like, I can't leave this player on the table. There's just no way. Trade Noah Fant, get Anthony Sullivan, start winning games. All the quarterbacks are still on the board, by the way, but we know who we're taking. There's no question about it. It is going to be the top 5 talent, and purely on the basis of just knowing that he's better. That's all it is. He seems good. Top 5 talent in the draft. Really can't go wrong with that. David Jones. Normal development. Wow. That's crazy. All right, well, we'll probably get him up to star with Rookie of the Year, but man, that is a little disappointing. I mean, you take a quarterback at number 3 overall, and the other QB is still available, by the way. Pretty much like guaranteed super high rated guy. Or maybe not even super high rated, but dev trade at that point. I'm not double dipping on quarterback in the same draft. I took the guy I wanted. This guy, similar, maybe just a little bit of a worse athlete. Probably will end up having a good development trait, though. Just will. That's probably how that's going to work out. But, you know, I want to draft the tight end. And he's available at, 7 picks down the board. If I can trade down a little bit, I'll do it, like if the Texans want to make a move or the Commanders, but otherwise I'll just take the tight end here. This offer from the Raiders intrigues me. I've done so many trades with the Raiders. They're just giving me a first this year and next year. I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to move back up because I think I'll be able to. There goes quarterback Ralph Butler. That's why they moved up. There goes Gerald Cohen, who I was really thinking about. And Anthony Sullivan goes to the Commanders. Why is he going at number 8 overall, man? That's a situation where I can admit that's a total mistake. Like, you don't want to draft a tight end too high because, it's a less valuable position. That's a scenario where you just draft the tight end too high. Just do it. The player was too good to miss out on. And I missed out on him for, a first-round pick next year? Obviously, that could be really good. But that player was going to be really good. I just made a mistake. This linebacker seems really good, by the way. So we're going to end up making the most of the mistake, 100%. But definitely frustrating to have even made a mistake in the first place. I also think this running back is going to be really good. We're going to make a trade for the tight end. We're going to make a trade. All right, boom. First pick, I'm taking Devontae Gandy from USC. Need a starting defensive tackle. Devon Hamilton is a short-term thing. And if that guy's good enough, he could just start. Next up, Roosevelt Hendricks. Looks awesome. Going to take him. Only normal dev, but again, he looks really, really good. So at what point do you just like not value the dev trait and you value the player? Dev trait's super valuable. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation. The last guys on the board for me are 2 defensive tackles and this linebacker who looks okay. I think we're set at linebacker now. So I'd probably just consider these 2 defensive tackles who I wouldn't need to take right now. So if I can turn this pick and maybe my third into a first-round pick next year, that's kind of crazy, but I'm going to try it. Browns finally have their first-round pick back. No, they don't. It's mine now. Trading a second, a third, and a fourth for their projected back end of the first-round pick next year. And you know what I've decided? Here's what I'm going to do in order to get that tight end and still make the trade, somewhat realistic. I'm going to trade Noah Fant to the Commanders. That feels like an easy swap. Damn, the linebacker's the only one still available. I don't really even want him. This tight end has the potential to be okay. Matthew Crawford. Might need depth there anyway, so we'll just take him. Really high acceleration, not great speed. Again, I'm a little bit upset the way that the first round worked out. But it might end up working out for the best anyways, because we have the Fant swap. We're going to do it. Okay, so that actually worked out really well. Hendricks is a 75 overall, which is, I would say, quite good. But again, the class doesn't seem to be crazy. David Jones is a top 5 talent, is only a 76 overall, which is good, but it's not crazy. Accuracy is already great, just not amazing deep. Overall, he's really solid. Also a 70 overall receiver all the way down the board. 94 speed, 98 acceleration. Not bad. Devontae Gandy is a 73, by the way. Let's go ahead and see what I missed out on. Now, Gerald Cohen, the free safety, is a 79 overall. I looked at him briefly. Definitely a player that I would like to have. 89 overall is, or 89 speed is a little low, but the overall is good. Only star dev. Not pissed I missed out on him. And then another Texas DB. DBU is back. Hook 'em horns. 73 or 76 overall. The tight end is actually not as good as I expected. Where is he? 75? Does have hidden dev though, and Clemson, and has the same face scan as the pass rusher we drafted. Let's make a trade happen. And keep in mind, I don't know his dev trade. Could be amazing, could be terrible. They don't want to trade him. They don't want to trade him at all. I'm hoping because they want to hold on to him so much that he has superstar X factor like the other tight end. That would be pretty sick. I'm trading Noah Fant a first. You know what? That's my penalty for being an idiot and letting Sullivan get drafted. Also a fifth, just to make that happen. Yeah, man. It should never have come to that, but I just wanted the player. They still want Jordan Brooks. Is he on the trade block or something? Did the CPU add him to the trade block? Okay, we're getting offers. Deion Dawkins, Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Cooks. I'm not doing it, but these are good offers. I mean, Darius Williams and Tyler Linderbaum, pretty good combo. Russell Gage and Cam Robinson, maybe not so much. So a little bit disappointing with the dev traits and all that. Where is Damian? Dude, did Damian Lewis sneak off to free agency without me knowing? That would be a little bit annoying. He wasn't super high rated, but he's on the Ravens now. I've traded Jayon Brown and a second-round pick to the Giants for a 23-year-old, very talented left guard. He's not like an 85 overall or anything, but he is a 77 with star development. Gave up quite a bit to get him. Scheme fit, think it's going to work out pretty well. Also, now that I paid Jordan Brooks, can probably just move him to outside linebacker. And also, can we just talk about how good this helmet looks in Madden 23? Has it always looked like actually that good? I don't know. Because they have that unique design across the middle, right? But I don't feel like it's ever looked, that clear and good before. So David Jones, man, I'm hoping he ends up being awesome. I'm hoping the tight end I just traded a ton for ends up having a really good dev trait. I'm hoping for at least superstar. Obviously, no guarantee of that, but that's what I'm hoping for. And I want Jimmy Brown in the slot just so he's guaranteed to play. Miles Jack, Jordan Brooks as our off-ball linebackers. I like that. Deron Payne. Devon Hamilton, it's not really much of a pass rusher. I'm going to play Gandy there and then have McLean and Bosa off the edge. Maybe McLean rush left end and then Bosa rush right end. Lockett in the slot just because he's going to be the best there. Dwayne Eskridge did not get star dev, so I have really no ties to him at this point. I've set up the team. I'm excited to see how they do. I think we could see, really good performance now that we have a true quarterback. We lose week 1. That's okay, but that's a good team. I think we're gonna have a better season. I'm hoping for like 7-ish wins. Okay, and we're 5-2. There you go. That's actually way better than I even expected. 5-2. I mean, we look like we're going to be the playoff team coming out of the NFC West. It doesn't seem like anybody else is close. Sullivan just has star dev. I deserve it. Honestly. He would have had superstar X Factor if I just drafted him. The one thing I can say, though, is at least he's going to be cheap. Now, the salary associated with him, because he was a top 10 pick, is going to be quite high. But we're not paying his bonus at all. That's entirely on the Commanders. We no longer have Noah Fant's contract. We should actually end up having some money, even though we're paying, plenty of players quite a bit. But look at the NFC West, man. 3 combined wins. The Cardinals haven't even won a game. The Rams and Cardinals combined are 1-11. We're 5-2. Not doing so poorly. Quandre Diggs doesn't want to come back. It's not really going to be his choice, because I'll figure out a way if I want to. And, nobody wants to come back, really, so just is what it is right now. Okay, Reggie Knight's going to be the pick. I've decided. A to C catching traffic, A catching, B deep route running, A release. He's 6'5", 229 with great to elite speed and great to elite jumping. A short route running, A release, A catching traffic, or A catching, maybe A catching traffic, A spectacular catch. This is the closest I'll ever see to Calvin Johnson in Madden 23. He looks insane. This corner looks good too. We are 11-6. Bears actually did real well. I don't think we own their first round pick this year though. I think that was last year. So not really worried about it. Joe Burrow again putting up numbers, but is he even still with the Bengals? David Jones looks like they really toned down rookie passing stats, which is the right call. Would love for him to still win Rookie of the Year. Otherwise, I might consider quarterback. Kenneth Walker was better. Tyler Lockett, had a great year. 15 touchdowns. And Tyler, this might be his career best numbers. Anthony Sullivan was okay. DK Metcalf was okay. Maybe instead of Tyler Lockett, we should have had DK Metcalf in the slot. I'm not sure. Defensively, oh my goodness. Okay, well, we'll get to some of these things. 118 tackles for both of my 2 main linebackers, Miles Jack, Jordan Brooks. 19 tackles for loss for Deron Payne. 18 for Nick Bosa, who also had a record 28.5 sacks. Pretty good. Julian McLean with a great 13. 10.5 for Deron Payne. Nobody really else performing too crazily. But, yeah, wow. I guess Nick Bosa was a huge signing, which obviously was always going to be. And we'll see if we can beat the Bears here in the wild card. I'm really excited to get to the next season already, and it looks like we're going to be headed there. It's a 3-point loss at the hands of the Bears, and it is off-season time. Season recap. Bills in the Super Bowl, despite being, it looks like, horrible before. Dak Prescott wins MVP, although the Bills do get the better of the Cowboys with that Super Bowl championship. Ralph Butler of the Raiders, the quarterback, is Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Carl Carlisle, what a name, is your Defensive Rookie of the Year. Nick Bosa, of course, obviously, wins Defensive Player of the Year. Mock Draft 3, let's see where these guys are projected to go. I'm not making mistakes this time around. Although, so Pat Dale here is projected to go number 1. Would like to get this guy. Great to elite speed, elite name, Pat Dale. Unassuming name. You wouldn't think, oh, that Pat Dale? You wouldn't say, oh, that's the best corner in the league. But he could be. Montrell Perkins looks good, but he he surely is not even close to as good as Reggie Knight, who looks insane. So we are projected to have the 8th pick, or we do have the 8th pick, that's a fact, which would be missing out on Reggie Knight. I want both, though. I'm going to make a move up. I'll figure it out. Reggie Knight, I mean, he's got to be the best player in the entire draft. This is surely a generational pick. So if we don't bring back Quandre Diggs, which I'm leaning towards not, he doesn't really want to come back. Dwayne Eskridge still, but that's not going to be a problem because we're bringing in a stud wide receiver 1, potentially, even though we have DK, we have Tyler Lockett. Lockett maybe will be relegated to the slot. I might change the Tampa Bay playbook just because, I mean, our defense was amazing, by the way, but just because we could really maximize our receivers. So I think if I draft the corner and draft the receiver, we're going to be in really good shape. And I can move somebody back to free safety to take the place of Quandre Diggs. And we do have some money, 50 mil or so, to spend in free agency. Probably not going to spend all or really any of that. Jalen Waddle's here. Kyle Pitts is here. I mean, I'd love to bring in some of these players, but it's just not going to happen this time around. David Jones did get star dev, by the way. So, oh, he did win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I guess for the NFC exclusively. I don't know how it works in Madden there. But the thing is, I was considering at least looking for a different quarterback option. Not that I was going to take one, but I was going to at least look. And now I really don't feel the need to look anymore. Lockett, by the way, superstar dev. He is 32 years old, but this should at least make sure he's still good. He regressed only very slightly. Really, -1 to deep route running is the only thing for a 32-year-old receiver? That's way better, because a player like him still should be good at that time. Deron Payne, superstar dev, by the way, now. Very, very nice. I mean, I like what's going on at linebacker. Our D-line's pretty good. And we're going to have a huge upgrade coming in at corner, I think. And who's a better candidate to move back to free safety? Sidney Jones or Brown here? Probably neither. Probably neither. Sidney Jones is the slowest of the two. Do I move Mike Hughes back? I don't know. All right, so we pick at number 8. This is going to be a fun draft because I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to get the number 1 overall pick. I'm going to take Pat Dale, and then I'm going to get the number 2 overall pick maybe as well, just to make sure that we get the guys that I want. So it is what it is. Got to make some magic happen. Okay, trading a first-round pick next year, projected to be number 5 overall, which it won't be, surely. So being way overvalued. Abraham Lucas and a 6th this year to move up all the way to number 1. And also the Commanders have the 2nd pick. If this was the pick that I had, I think it would be 15 would be the pick that we had. But I am ironically going to work with the Commanders again. But this shouldn't be that hard to move up. I mean, am I even going to need the pick next year? I'm going to trade number 8 and 2nd to move all the way up to number 2. 6 spots. This should be fun. We should be taking, in my opinion, the 2 best players in the entire draft, who, in my opinion as well, should both be above an 80 overall. We're very close to it, which, after some really lame drafts in a row, we should be hitting a home run here with Pat Dale. Ran 4.24 at his pro day. Elite speed with elite cover ability. B-zone coverage is whatever. He's a man monster. Welcome to the team, Pat Dale, 95 speed. Acceleration's not great for what you'd expect, but yeah, Pat Dale seems very good. Maybe not into the 80s, but maybe high 70s, close to an 80. And yes, a corner at number 1. I could barely believe it myself, but he wouldn't have been available otherwise. And then Reggie Knight looks incredible. Am I hyping myself too much on this player? A, catching, A, release, B, deep route running. Catching traffic, we don't know about 100%. Medium route running, we also don't know about 100%. But short route running is great. Spectacular catch is spectacular. Run blocking could be quite good. And then athletically, he has elite speed and jumping and acceleration. Now, only ran in the mid 4.3s, which is still great, by the way. I mean, that's DK Metcalf. But it's only 10th and 11th here in the entire draft class. But again, should be amazing. This is DK Metcalf. Yeah, this guy's sick. 97 speed, 97 acceleration, 99 jumping. And that goes to show you, too, that you can't really buy too much into the 40 times. You have to look at what it actually says it is. And it says it's elite. 21 years old as well. And he's got the archetype, special archetype, to have 99 jumping. This is a freak. Oh, we also pick at number 23 overall. All right. I really wasn't expecting to be picking here. I don't know why I just thought we got rid of this one. It would probably be a good idea to turn this into a first next year. Jerry Kidd, I kid you not, looks to be one of the better guards I've seen. Elite strength as well. I know we just traded for a guard. Yeah, we just traded for a guard. Let's settle down. Eagles offering me a first. Let's go ahead and just swap first round picks. Get there first next year. And I think the CPU can handle the rest of this draft. We're set up now. Draft, recap, show me some high overalls. All right, yeah. I mean, Pat Dale's an 81. Already great. Not necessarily generational, although very good, obviously. Not necessarily generational, so not guaranteed superstar X Factor. On the other hand, Reggie Knight is an 84 overall. That is definitely generational range. He is an 84 overall physical. I mean, he looks insane. Probably just like, regardless of overall, and even factoring it in too, I guess, the best player I've ever drafted, or at least one of them. 97 speed, 97 acceleration, 86 catching, playing up to 92 catching traffic, but that's really an 89 right now. 81 short route running, 80 medium, 74 deep with 91 spectacular catch already, 85 release, 88 agility. He's got the 99 jumping build, which is a special build, just in the same way that the fat quarterback build I did, like that's a special build. There's like a 99 hit power, strong safety, 99 jumping, I believe, is one. And he's got 91 change of direction, good juke and spin move as well. I mean, this is an unbelievable player. I mean, 97 speed at 6'5", dude. I mean, DK Metcalf is what, 95 speed? This guy is even faster than DK. Jerry Kidd, by the way, is a 75 overall. So quite good. 97 strength, although that's being boosted. If he has superstar dev, I'll be a little bit disappointed. But otherwise, I won't care. I don't care. Don't care. I mean, Dale's got to be a starter. He's an 82 overall at corner. So who moves back to free safety? I mean, Brown, I don't think is a great zone player, but might just be the best fit for it. I don't know. This is wild, by the way. Sidney Jones, a 29-year-old star dev corner, can very nearly get me a 24-year-old superstar X Factor free safety. Wild. And I'm going to do it. Don't really need Sidney Jones anymore. It does stink to get rid of like an actual Seahawk that's on roster in a rebuild, I will admit. But we are upgrading in a big way. 91 speed, 86 zone. Yeah, he looks really good. He looks really good. Only 24 years old as well. I don't think reinforcement's very good. Maybe universal coverage. Again, I've talked about this for years. I have no idea if these play any impact at all in simulation. I really just think it's more of a development thing. But either way, big time upgrade at free safety. Still have 3 really good corners, and then Tariq Woolen is fine as a CB4. We have great depth at defensive tackle. Edge rushers are good, although we really don't have any depth there. Maybe Boye Mafe can get moved down. Reggie Knight going to be in the slot. I mean, this is going to be, I think, a very good team. We have bona fide superstars and future superstars. That receiver is going to be guaranteed superstar X Factor. Just will be. I got to simulate to the regular season and then change my depth chart again because when the CPU makes cuts, they go, oh, we'll rearrange your entire depth chart for you, which I obviously do not want. That being said, though, I'm not sure how many other changes I would even make. I feel like things are in a pretty good spot, and I don't really need to do anything. They've done things exactly as I would, so we are good to go. The only thing would be maybe moving Bosa to rush right end and McLean to the other side, just because Bosa was like a 96 rush right end and McLean was a much higher rush left end. I don't know if that even will make a difference. It shouldn't to me, but maybe it does. Either way, we will simulate to the midseason mark. And based off of last season, I mean, we're way better. I'm expecting at least 5 wins, right? Well, we're 3-4. Our defense is not as elite as it was last season, despite being way better. And our offense is slightly better, but has not been good enough to carry us to wins. I'm going to make that depth chart change, and I am going to go ahead and hopefully reap the rewards. Now, let's check out the dev traits, by the way. It's going to be Superstar X Factor for the receiver. I'd bet anything. And we don't know yet, but it will be. And then defensively, he's even played enough. Star Dev. I knew it would be. I knew it would be Star. Because why would it be better than Star? But yeah, the receiver is a guaranteed Superstar X Factor. All the generational players are. So, yeah, I have no doubts about that. We went 9-8. And because we didn't win the division, and the Rams did at 9-8, we are not going to be in the playoffs. Not how I anticipated this season going, if I'm honest. Really didn't. Offense was pretty good. I mean, David Jones in year 2, those are good numbers. Our defense was still first in yards. We just didn't win. David Jones, he's going to end up taking the next step, though, and I think we're going to be better next season for it. But yeah, this was unfortunately not the season we were expecting. Kenneth Walker was fine. I mean, DK was great. Reggie Knight was awesome as a rookie. Anthony Sullivan was awesome. I mean, I don't really even feel the need to change the playbooks. We're getting good numbers. And yeah, Superstar X Factor. He's an 88 overall. Sick. Again, one of the best players I've ever drafted, if not the best, in Madden 23. These are bad traits. Honorary lineman and runoff elite. No. I don't know how we didn't make the playoffs, though. Really disappointing. Miles Jack led our team in tackles. 23 sacks for Nick Bosa. Interceptions. I don't think anything crazy in here. Season recap. Rams, 48-29 over the Colts. Lions have the MVP. Jonathan Landry. All right, sure, that's a guy. Also won Rookie of the Year, clearly, offensively. Nick Bosa, another defensive Rookie of the Year, or Defensive Player of the Year. Matt Stafford won Super Bowl MVP. Actually played the Bills tonight as I record this. Didn't play especially well, but I also don't think he played especially poorly, as everyone's saying. He wasn't amazing. I'm not going to say that he was amazing, because he wasn't, right? But, I mean, pass that probably should have been caught by Cooper Kupp, bounces off his hands, ends up being an interception. Looking like a Madden 23 Giants franchise interception, if you ask me. But yeah, I mean, obvious mistakes. I mean, one of the picks, I think the first one was so bad. But a lot of that, like, you know, it wasn't awful quarterback play. The only real thing is it looked like Allen Robinson kept getting open and just wasn't getting any targets. Kind of weird. DK needs an extension. Jamal Adams needs an extension. Up to Superstar X Factor, by the way. Tyler Lockett, Michael Dixon, Hook 'em Horns, Kenneth Walker, Charles Cross. Devon Hamilton can walk. Wolin can walk. We have so much money, though. $150 million to bring back essentially, what, 4 or 5 players, maybe? Also, Tyler Lockett really regressed. He's an 85 overall now, so it's a good thing we drafted a receiver. But I give him a short-term deal to stay back. It's not really too expensive. Of course he returns. Still $82 million after bringing everybody back. So we could go out here and make a big splash. Definitely possible. Scary Terry, Dalvin Cook. Maybe it's a bad thing I brought back Kenneth Walker. Can say the same thing with Alvin Kamara there. Or another running back, Deebo Samuel. Sullivan, by the way, is up to superstar development. Yes, he had a very good year. Spin cycle? That's what they're going to give him, is spin cycle? Surely that's not good. What can I do here to make an upgrade? I mean, I like the team. We could use a good defensive tackle. We could use a good corner. Like a huge upgrade. Any good corners? No. Not really much in the way of defensive tackles either. This is a rough time. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and spend money on a running back. Dalvin Cook. Oh, this is actually pretty cheap, to be honest. For a 97 overall running back, I know it doesn't seem like much, but this could be what takes our offense over the top. And Dalvin Cook, welcome to Seattle. We don't pick until the end of the first round. I haven't really even checked out the draft class. Just haven't really thought about this being the way to improve our team at this point. I think I'd like to trade my first round pick for a really good defensive tackle. Also says our number one need is left end. Oh, okay, well that's going to change. Okay, I'm trading 2 first round picks and a second for Quinnen Williams. The first and the second, or one of them, at least one of the first, is next year. But I'm not drafting Quinnen Williams. I won't be able to draft a 95 overall defensive tackle in this class. So he ended up being the guy, and we trade for him. Hopefully is the one that ends up making the biggest difference for us. Number 1 player drafted was a 75 overall quarterback. 2 75 overall quarterbacks in this class. Damn, the Vikings got 2 of the highest rated players in the class. Not bad. A quarterback and a running back. Well, they replaced Dalvin Cook somewhat, but not really a stacked class. Need to upgrade Reggie Knight as a playmaker. That will truly maximize his potential, because look at what playmaker does. Also, they changed the font. I don't know that I like it. It's different, but I don't know. It feels weird. Deep route running, not great, by the way. I just had to turn off auto progress talents, which I usually always have on, just so it's another thing I don't have to manage every time, because it gets monotonous when you do, so many of these, 3, 4, 5 seasons, sometimes even more. And I finally have, or I have them so the Superstar X Factor abilities can be equipped, which is nice, especially when you have DK Metcalf and then also DK Metcalf in Reggie Knight. We've had it for defense, and with Quinnen, I don't know. Quinnen, I want to have it. Nick Bosa as well. We could use a stud CB1 probably. If we don't start off 1-0, you gotta be kidding me. It's gonna be a disaster. I'm going all out. It's time. It's time to trade everything I can, which might not be enough, by the way, for a big-time corner. I just don't have the picks. I have a third. I do have a first next year. All right, I can make something happen. Oh, it's just that easy. AJ Terrell. Oh, can't get him. Tre'Davious White, though, because he's old? Nope. All right, we're not going to be able to do anything. Did beat the Cardinals in week 2, though. 5-2 at the midseason mark. The Rams have gone undefeated up to this point. Our offense is top 10. Our defense is top 10. It looks like we're going to end up playing better. Also, a thing I didn't do is I turned off auto-progress players just so I'd have the option to upgrade some of these guys myself. Only 1 skill point in, 6 weeks is a little disappointing, but it'll give me opportunities to upgrade Reggie Knight in the ways that will make him the most effective, which, in my opinion, the CPU won't do by themselves. We, unfortunately, are in the wild card, but on the bright side, we have made the playoffs. 12-5 won the division. The Rams kept on winning, but they go 11-6, slightly worse than we ended up performing. And as you can see from stats and awards, 8th best offense. David Jones seems to have very similar numbers to last year. They look nearly identical, to be honest. But Dalvin Cook was a godsend. Huge numbers, over 1,600 yards, 5.7 per carry, 18 touchdowns. Reggie Knight dominated, as did DK Metcalf. These are great numbers. Anthony Sullivan, very good for the tight end spot as well. And then defensively, oh my goodness, 20 tackles for loss and 30.5 sacks. A new record for Nick Bosa. Quinnen Williams had 13.5. Julian McClain really slowed down. I wonder why that would have been. 7 interceptions for Jimmy Brown. That might be the most I've seen in any rebuild this year. For a player on my team, 7 is ridiculous. Even though it feels like quite possible in real life, you never see anything close to that. I don't even know that I've seen 6. 7 is insane. So we'll upgrade players before we simulate. And, I think... Oh, Reggie Knight 2 skill points? Why do you have 2 here? Just second half of the season type stuff? Probably. Also, I find it funny with his tags that he really would love to have a mentor at the position. Dude, you are the mentor, Reggie. You're a 90 overall rookie. You're the, well, I guess he's a, he was. Now he's a second-year player that's up to a 93 overall. Make it a 94 overall with morale. That's not quite too true. Still 93. Look at him. 98 speed now. 98 acceleration. Route running is elite. Spectacular catch is elite. Catching traffic, release, jumping. Even catching somewhat. Elite. All right. See if we can beat the Bears here. And we do. 31-21. And the 81 overall Falcons stand in our way in the divisional. Why are they going to beat us? Oh, I hope not. If the Falcons somehow manage to beat us here in the divisional, I don't even know what I'll say. Turns out I don't have to even think of anything. 28-10, and it's the Cowboys in the NFC Championship. We're jumping in, by the way. I'm not risking it against them. If we have to jump in, I want to be there. 95 overall now for Reggie Knight. +3 awareness, +2 deep route running. He's very good. This is a second-year player. Experience 1 year already playing up to a 95. The generational players are something else, man. But that happens. That happens. Like, look at Jamar Chase after his rookie season. If he dominates in year 2, surely he should be in the 90s. Oh, they brought in Scary Terry from the Commanders. All right, this Cowboys team might not mess around. They might not. We do have some pretty good corners, at least one sick one. We're up by 14 early. Offense taking advantage. I think our defense has played fairly well so far because it seems like we were scoring quickly. It is only, I was going to say a one possession game, but the Cowboys scored, and then we scored. I mean, this is a very interesting game so far. I almost don't even know what to say. It's 31-23, approaching the 2-minute warning. We're going to jump in here for the first time. I'd love to like make a cool throw. No, Knight's going to be open. Oh, not fair. Like that little freeform completion, by the way. You like that? Reggie Knight back of the end zone. Had enough time to make that throw, but look at that separation. We made that throw maybe even a little bit tougher than it had to be. But put it in the perfect spot, and it is a Reggie Knight touchdown. How do we have the football? Interception by Mike Hughes. All right. GG. Okay, that's not fair. That's not fair. Okay, to be fair, Trayvon Diggs didn't even, I guess, realize the football was in the air. But a little free-form pass, and, I mean, Diggs never got his head turned around. Reggie Knight touchdown. But that is not a fair matchup for any corner. 98 speed, 99 jumping, 99 acceleration, already at 6'5". Let me tell you, I'm not going to delete this Seahawks franchise file after we're done here. I got to continue the career of Reggie Knight at some point. And that is the ball game. 45-23. Our defense really the story of this game, in my opinion. But also, Reggie Knight is like the best player of all time, probably. That's also a storyline. 387 yards passing and 6 touchdowns, by the way. All right, only 7 incompletions the entire game. Nearly a perfect passer rating. Unbelievable numbers from David Jones. Dalvin Cook was pretty good. But, man, Reggie Knight, he really only performed when we threw to him. Who was scoring all these touchdowns? Lockett, Cook, Metcalf, Matthew Crawford. Getting everybody involved. Well, we will be in the Super Bowl. Pretty excited for that. A little bit disappointed that my guy Knight wasn't more involved other than when I was actually jumping in playing. It's going to be Seahawks against the Ravens. I mean, two teams that were really good, kind of around the same time, but never obviously played each other in the Super Bowl. So this would be kind of a fun matchup. Pat Dale, going to stay at an 87 overall, but he is quite good. Probably going to stay at star dev. But you know what? I could see Jimmy Brown being a superstar dev for winning Defensive Player of the Year or DB of the Year. He won DB of the Year. NFL interceptions leader. That should be superstar dev, surely. And it is. Jimmy Brown just got that much better. 41's kind of gross for a corner. I mean, Legion of Boom, Byron Maxwell wore 41 if I remember correctly, but it doesn't make it look any better. Byron Maxwell, he was fortunate is what I'll say. He was fortunate. Dude, Reggie Knight is 22 years old and a 95 overall. I know he's playing up +3 with morale, but that is insane. Super Sim, we're definitely going to play some offense at some point in this. Up 7-3, now 10-3 as we approach the second half, and then go into the locker room. We're very close to it. Up 17-3. No, Ravens with a touchdown. Buzzer beater. I mean, I might bomb it deep. Just straight off the bat. Go down the field. Reggie Knight with a step with the catch downfield. This guy is ridiculous. You can't cover 98 speed. You can't. And yeah, I gave him a shooter sleeve. He needed that plus boost before playing the Super Bowl. He's just going to run by everybody. I did rack catch too, and he still held on. Even through contact. Yeah, I mean, he is not fair. All right, he's off the field finally. Do we just go to DK? Yeah, we're going to. He just can't cover that. I mean, the combination of DK Metcalf and DK Metcalf Jr., a.k.a. the Dark Knight, sick nickname, just unstoppable. Great ball, by the way, from our quarterback, who's kind of been like the unheralded hero. He hasn't played amazing or anything, but he's just been, I mean, we're in the Super Bowl for a reason. Oh, is that just beautiful? Yeah, it is. Dude, the precision passing I like quite a bit. I just got to get the hang of it and start using it a little bit more. It is a Knight touchdown. Beautiful ball by the quarterback, by the way, David Jones. Beautiful ball. Those are some good-looking cleats, too. The Seahawks have really good colors. Like, I'm not a huge fan of green, but I do like neon green. And I just think it works well with the black. And the Ravens are not going to stop scoring. I want to just go deep every time. But, unfortunately, I can't just do that. It's just not open every time. We don't have the time every time. Yeah, it's no good. David Ajabo into the backfield. 4th and 12. Game should be on the line here for Baltimore, but it won't be because I'm going to throw. I'm not trying to take time off the clock. Lamar going deep. Have we been cooked here? Nah, it's incomplete. All right, Jesus. Kind of got cooked. I don't think the Ravens realize how big of a mistake this coverage is, because it should give Knight a big opportunity. We can't get the ball to him. I'm passing here on 4th and 10. I don't care. Same play, same slot release, and, I mean, just awful pass protection. I don't know how it was actually that bad. So I've given the Ravens a chance here. I didn't realize they had playoff Lenny. Oh, this might be bad for us. This might be bad. They have playoff Lenny, Leonard Fournette. And, yeah, Lamar could easily win this game here for the Ravens. I mean, can't win it, but, you know, put them in position to win. The absolute best the Ravens can do is overtime. We're trying to avoid that, but also trying to get fun moments at the same time. Lamar with time and eventually finds a wide open receiver who catches it out of bounds. Fortunate animation for us because that was a really bad play. 3rd and 10, 44 seconds to play. You gonna check down, Lamar? Ooh, that's a nice play for him. Oh, Lamar fumbled. Very nice. I didn't think he fumbled. I thought he was throwing forwards. I didn't even bother saying anything there, but yeah, Lamar, little fumble rooski. I just think that, oh man, 98 speed should be able to run past everybody. Ravens will have one shot at the end zone, but this isn't Giants franchise, so surely this is not going to end up being completed for them. In Giants franchise, not only is this a touchdown, somehow they would get a 3-point conversion and win the game. Yeah, incomplete. That's the game. Unfortunately, we just couldn't get that streak down the field tonight. But either way, we do win the Super Bowl, 31-23. And I think that's probably your final anyway. We just got a couple more tries to score. But that is it. The Seattle Seahawks, under a new core that we found in the draft, have ended up winning the Super Bowl. Brought in Dalvin Cook, drafted a quarterback, drafted a stud receiver. Tyler Lockett wins the Super Bowl, though. DK Metcalf wins the Super Bowl. The offensive line's new tight end, obviously. Oh, we're taking selfies. There's DK. I guess that makes sense for him. And defensively, not too bad. I mean, Jamal Adams stays on the team. Unfortunately, don't keep Quandre Diggs, but we do keep Jordan Brooks, and that's like kind of it. But that is going to do it for this Super Bowl and this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.